Welcome to The Grind and Glow.
Real talk, real estate, real life.
I'm Kathy Garcia.
And I'm Meagan Black. We're two unlikely friends turned business partners bringing you real, unfiltered conversations about the real estate world and the wild ride that comes with it.
From industry highs and lows to behind the scene moments you won't believe, we're here to keep it fun, relatable, and refreshingly real.
Expect laughs, lessons, and a little chaos along the way.
Because in real estate and life, things don't always go as planned.
Let's get real. Let's talk real estate. Let's dive in. Good to see you. Week 2.
Week 2, we made it.
We did make it.
We made it.
Despite all the myths from the real estate industry, we finally made it.
We are going to bust 4 of, I would say, the top myths that people who are getting into industry they want to know before you're like, let me pay to sign up for to become a realtor.
Because there's a lot of myths in real estate. There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of things that people don't actually, they'll tell you one thing, but in reality it's something else. And I think we should just let the people know.
Let's dive in. Okay, number 1. Real estate is easy money. What do you think about that?
Real estate is easy money is the most hilarious thing I have ever heard.
Yes.
As an investor, so this is what I'll tell you. In all reality, it's not the hardest money, but it's not easy money. It's money that if you put the time, energy, and effort to, you can see great returns.
Yes, absolutely.
But if you don't put any time, energy, and effort into it, you're not going to get the return.
Meagan, did you see one of NAR's newest posts? It talked about 71% of agents in 2024 didn't have any deals.
That's crazy. But I understand, though.
Right, yeah.
71%. Yep. That is...
And 87% of agents will fail within 5 years. So that's some heavy things just to kind of know as you're thinking, do I want to do this? And this is why they tell you to make sure you have some money set aside before you decide to go down this career, because there could be some months where you don't have income. I think one of the things we see, social media, Netflix, this money is just pouring, and we're talking 6-figure commissions.
Right.
And so money at first, I think in the beginning, is not as easy, but once you get into the groove of things, yes.
Yes, as long as you're keeping the groove. I think a lot of real estate agents do the thing where they work really hard for a little while, and then they make a lot of money, and then they don't have a lot of money because they quit working for a little while. And, the thing of it is what we get paid for is what we did 3 months ago.
Yes, and a lot of people don't realize that. And I always tell myself every day that I wake up, I'm unemployed. It's great. You got a home under contract. Maybe you have a closing. But then what?
Yeah, then what?
Right.
That's the one thing about real estate. I mean, this probably isn't even on our myths, but truly, real estate, I mean, it takes years to build your business because the same clients aren't buying 2-3 houses typically. Typically, they're buying one, and then, 5 to 7 years later, they're buying a second.
Right.
And so it takes a little time to build that, business up. And, yeah, I remember honestly, last probably February, March was one of the hardest times in my career because I had literally ran out of money, and I was not, I thought I had a deal. It was supposed to close the week it was supposed to close.
Yep.
My buyer called me and was like, hey, Meagan, I'm so sorry, but I got a new job, and I'm not going to be able to close on this house.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, when you're expecting a couple $1,000s and then you don't have it, and then
it's like a domino effect on the next steps.
It is.
And I think people don't realize that just because you went under contract, we cannot celebrate until we get to the closing table. And even then, right, we don't know. Until it's recorded and official, we're popping bottles like confetti.
Yes, until they tell me it is recorded, I'm like, literally, yes, yeah. It's so funny because, I did not realize what a rush real estate was, but if you're an adrenaline junkie, real estate is it,
has its roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about number 2. Number 2 is your broker will train you.
So I think this is a very complex question because I would say yes and no. Some brokers may train you. Most brokers want you to have a mentor, somebody to guide you. Yes, they will help you, sort of.
Yeah.
They'll help you if you have a question, but they're not going to show you how to use your MLS. They're not going to show you how to use templates. They're not going to show you how to use Canva.
How to market yourself, which is huge.
Yeah, exactly. They just kind of like how to use a CRM.
Well, even basic things. For example, I remember when I became an agent, within a few months, I had 2 listings back to back. I had zero idea. I remember reading the textbook and I thought, where is a listing presentation on here? And so, yes, it's very hard because a lot of times we think, oh, they're going to not handhold, but yes, this is a brand new career. But many of them are running their own business where they don't have time to pull you aside and say, okay, shadow me, watch my everyday move. Another thing that, they don't really train you on is just how to set a schedule, because when you're new, for us, we talked about meeting on a team. There were meetings every single day, presentations. And I always thought, well, when am I going to get to work?
Right.
When am I going to learn this? So yes, it's great, I think, and we've talked about this. Joining a team might be a good idea. Mm-hmm. When you're new, because you're going to learn the tools, the lingo, which I think is the most important piece.
Yeah, I agree.
But keep in mind that at the end of the day, your success is up to you.
Yes.
And that's it.
100%. We were, when we started on a team, and one of the reasons I joined a team, listen, the truth of the matter is teams are expensive.
They are.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts. 98% of your teams are going to be, fairly larger splits than if you are a solo agent. However, the training I received in my first year of real estate really, truly, pushed me to where I am today. I tried to do it on my own for a couple months and then realized real quickly that I had no idea what I was doing.
Same.
And I didn't want to mess somebody up. I'm like...
We were practicing real estate with a lot of these people.
100%. 100%.
I was in the same situation as you.
Yeah.
I felt like I needed to better serve them and myself and stay out of real estate jail.
Yes.
We needed to jump on a team. So that is something that I think it's good to consider.
Yeah.
And if you're new, make sure you interview. And sometimes you don't know what questions to ask. And so feel free to message us.
Yeah.
But you definitely want to know how much support you're going to receive.
Yeah.
We know that real estate is not a 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. So if it's 8 o'clock and a deal is falling apart, or you're maybe putting together a deal, who can guide me through this? Right. Our contracts, even though some of these forms have gotten a little bit smaller, what does this mean? What is this lingo? So yes, definitely ask the questions.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. It's funny. I just had a friend of mine. She just finished real estate school, and then she called me. She's like, "What do I do now? What do I do now?" And I'm like, this is what you should do: interview multiple people and talk to and like. So a lot of teams or a lot of brokerages that you go to, you'll have what's called a sponsor, and the sponsor. You should actually be very careful who you choose to be your sponsor.
Oh, yeah.
Because who you choose to be your sponsor, for instance, like me and Kathy joined at the same time, but Kathy is technically my sponsor. Well, I love the fact that Kathy's my sponsor because she wants me to be successful, because my success will help her paycheck, right? Of course.
And I'll tell you, even that is and is not the case, because I have agents who are part of, so we're with LPT Realty, and I'm not their direct sponsor. I've sat with people who are not new, by the way, and I've showed them everything from how to create a Google page so people can recognize you, have an online presence with nothing to gain, right?
Right.
Because I remember being in their shoes.
Yes.
And there was just nobody to ask. And a lot of people didn't want to tell you. I don't know why.
It's so weird.
They gatekeep.
It is so weird how many people gatekeep. Because, we're
going to have to add that in the next episode. Gatekeeping.
Yeah, literally, gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Because, no, I agree with you. It's even on a team, there was gatekeeping towards, certain information. People kind of get nervous that you're going to, steal their business or something.
It's ridiculous.
But, okay, so just for all of the listeners, have a mindset of abundance. When you realize that there is an abundance out there, then the abundance finds you.
100%.
When you have that mindset of there's not enough, there won't be enough.
There
won't be enough.
There won't be.
So make sure you keep that mindset. I think that's, one thing we pride ourselves on.
Now, number 3, you make your own schedule. This makes me laugh because...
No.
And that is something that when you are on a team, they drill that in you. And, Megan and I, we run our own business. We are not on a team, but we've learned along the way. I think, yes, it's important to have consistency. So for me, and maybe you can share what your day looks like, but I'll tell you what mine looks like. I jump on a 7:30 morning mastermind, and my daughter, who I have to drive to school, gets upset every morning. But it's so good because they're having conversations about just not real estate, just life and how to handle things. And sometimes handling yourself, your emotions, because it's a very emotional job.
It is.
So I jump on a 7:30 call. In the morning really is when I do a lot of my work. We jump on calls every Monday.
Yep.
We use our calendar to keep us really in check.
If it's not on my calendar, it does not exist.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
And so everything, I'm talking from like lunches to picking up, groceries. I mean, everything has to be on a schedule. And this may or may not work for everybody, but I'm telling you, you have to have a system that keeps you in check. And for me, I have to check things off. That's how I feel like I've been productive.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people use the Google Calendar and desk calendar.
So I think, comparing, we talk about being the yin to the yang, but like ultimately, so as I'm listening to you talk, I'm literally thinking to myself about all the people I've heard in podcasts talk about how we should time block and make these times. And like in my head, I'm like, as I was listening to the podcast, I was thinking, that works for you.
Yes.
That works for you. It doesn't work for me. And then I realized that what I was doing wasn't working.
Yeah.
And I accidentally, to be honest with you, I kind of fell into scheduling things. Speaking about my mother-in-law, she, I was her caretaker for a little while, and this woman was so organized. Like, she literally had, in her calendar, every single thing. And as her caretaker, I had to know what her schedule was, I had to have it written down, and I had to, because I didn't have a choice. I had to, otherwise we wouldn't make the 3 doctor's appointments and, this and that we had to make. And, I wouldn't have her dressed or ready because it took, an hour and a half to get me and her, you know what I'm saying?
Out the door and just ready for the day and your appointments.
Right. And then after I did that, all of a sudden, I could do way more in my day than I could before I started, actually putting it down in a schedule. And so, for me, and it's dramatic. I wake up every morning, I look at my schedule, see what I'm doing for the next, for that day. Okay, typically I do it the night before and the morning of. I look that night before, okay, this is what I'm doing. And then the morning of, okay, this is what my schedule looks like. This is how my day is going to plan out. And then that's what my day is.
Yep, and that's what your day consists of. And it doesn't matter if you use, Google Calendar. I love my desktop calendar. Can you guess how old I am? But that works for me. Now, if I ever were to lose that calendar, I'm in trouble. So I'm trying to do both, but I gravitate towards a desk calendar. And again, like you, I look at it at night because I want to know what I'm going to do the next day. And then it really doesn't matter what you use. We're just saying use something to keep track of your day. I also think it helps you when you're like, gosh, I haven't had a closing in a week, months.
Yeah.
What's happening? Well, you can go back and say, well, are you really busy?
What was I doing
working
3
on your
months ago?
business? Or are you just hanging out and having, happy hours and lunches, which I love a good happy hour.
If you want to take us out, we'll go.
Yes, we will go.
Yeah.
But what are you doing that's going to generate business? Are you these things that are going to, like they say, move the needle forward? Or are you just busy, fun stuff?
Yeah.
So, yep. So definitely, yes, you can make your own schedule.
Yeah.
And
the last thing, just to kind of add with before we go to the next one, but also, my schedule and your schedule are probably different. I'm not yes, I have certain things that I do every day or every Monday, every Tuesday. My days look different every single day. But I still just put it in the calendar. Even if it's I just put everything in the calendar, and then that way, regardless, I know what I did or I know what I'm doing, or I can do that thing where I look back if I bullshit for 3 hours, then I bullshit for, bullshitting for 3 hours.
And then maybe allot that time for a different time of the day. So for me, I can't do anything before 8 o'clock because I'm doing mom stuff, right? So, and it's okay because people would tell me, from 8 to 2, you're working on your business. It's real estate, real estate, real estate. And I used to feel guilty about that. But for me, I work great in the morning, between like 9 and noon. I work really great. There's nobody bothering me except for my dog. And then the evening. So it's okay if your schedule isn't like the person next to you.
Yes.
Just get it done.
Yeah.
Get it done. That's the most important thing that we're here to tell you.
Yeah.
Okay. The last one, which we've talked about a little bit. Marketing is optional, and there is only one way to do it.
Oh my gosh.
We can spend hours on this.
Yeah, I think this one is key actually, because like truly as a real estate agent, your job is marketing. That is what you're doing. You're marketing yourself to customers and clients, and you're marketing their property to other customers and clients.
Yep, I agree. So marketing is super important. And it gets a little tricky because we're going to talk about being on a team and then being individual agents like us. When you're on a team, you're marketing that team, right?
Right. Because most of the time you're on the team because you don't have any transactions.
You don't have any transactions. But you always have to remember, it doesn't matter what team you're on, right? People are going to choose to work with you. So my most important thing that I tell people when they ask is you want to have an online presence.
Yes.
You want to make sure that you have your Google up. If somebody Googles you, you want to make sure you are on Instagram, Facebook, as many things that you're going to commit to work on and add value. Because many agents have a lot of social medias. And I'll tell you, anytime that maybe somebody calls me and says, I'm moving to Texas, for example, I'm going to look for a Texas agent because, we have access to Texas agents with our firm. And the first thing that I do is Google them. And some people, there's nothing on them. Yeah. I have to go digging to see who these people are. The second thing I notice is sometimes Facebook is the first thing that comes up. They haven't posted in months.
It's weird.
Years. So then I think, so are you a full-time agent? Are you in the industry? Are you that 87% that left?
Yeah. No,
right?
Seriously. No, I completely agree. And I think, having been on a team, the team that we were on really, really, really drove in cold calling. Yeah. And, we talked about this in the last episode. I did a lot of cold calling.
You did.
And it's not for me. But at the same time, I just talked to a girl literally yesterday, friend of mine, and she said that her business was built on cold calling. Well, listen, the thing about it is yeah, your business is really going to make it whatever you want it to be. But don't let people tell you that it's not social media or it's not this. Because social media is a powerful, powerful tool. And using it correctly, making sure that everything looks good. Like if you go and look at the Kathy Garcia on Instagram, it is seamless. Everything is the same. Her Facebook, Instagram.
Her main photo, right?
Right. Yes.
And then another thing, a tip I gave somebody recently was they had a picture of their wife and themselves, but their name could be, let's say it's Jamie. So are you Jamie the guy or Jamie the girl? Right. So being very intentional on how you're posting things and how you're coming across. And social media is free. It's a free platform.
It's free.
So let's use it, but use it in the right way.
In a positive way.
And for sure.
And don't post, listen, yes, we have to post like the regular, just sold, just listed kind of thing, but also people want to know who you are. People want to get to see, who is Meagan Black? Is she somebody that I can relate to? Is she? And the nice thing is when someone reaches out to you and they already see your social media presence and you're being authentic to you, then they're going to like you.
Yes. They are going to quickly make up a decision, whether it's, maybe they're looking at you and another agent, and they see that you're posting all the time. And again, like you mentioned, it's not, look at me, I just sold, no. So on my page, you're going to see my dog a lot. You're going to see, and even on my intro, I am a part of like book clubs and Bunko. So who are you aside from Kathy Garcia, the real estate agent? Because I'm more than a real estate agent, and I like to highlight that. You do a good job too. Like we both are in the community. We showcase our community. Yeah. And so it's important for us.
Yeah. Like as a real estate agent, I consider myself a connector. I'm connecting different people and different groups and different businesses. I love highlighting different businesses. I love this area. I moved here as a transplant now, gosh, almost, I guess like a little over 10 years or so. How old am I? Oh, wait, definitely over 10 years. More
Yeah.
like 15 years.
Oh, my gosh.
So, like, moving here, I love this city. And so, like, I love highlighting fun new cafeterias or restaurants or businesses or, you know.
Yeah, I agree. And now keep in mind, there are some agents, I don't know about you, but there's some agents that tell me, all I see you do is always posting about bunko or eating. But I also look at your page and all you're talking about is look at me, look what I did, look what I'm doing. Yeah. And that's great. But people also want to peel the layers of, oh, look at this fun thing that you're doing in the community. Because again, people want to work with you because you seem relatable and fun. And so I think it's important to have an online presence for sure. Yeah. And just, keep in mind, again, we talk about being authentic on this. So there's a lot of realtors in the Triangle or in any profession really. Sometimes you can look at and see what other people are doing to get inspiration. But I think copying and pasting, for example, if I were to copy and paste some stuff that Meagan does, they're going to be like, what's up with Kathy? That's so not her.
Right.
Or if you started, acting the way I do, it's just like, what's up with Meagan? Yeah. So just be real and true to yourself. Again, I'm going to say it. Your vibe attracts your tribe. So there's plenty of clients out there for us. But being who you are, people see right through that, at least.
And don't be a silent agent, And,
yes.
And look, if social media is not your thing, then market some other way. You have open houses. We host events. That's one of the things we really talked about wanting to do this year is hosting events in our community so we have fun and get to meet people and get to know people. And we want our business to, truly, we want it to be fun. Yes, there are hard things in real estate, but this can be a really fun job. And I have a blast. I was a dental assistant for 18 years. I was great, but I love this career now. I have so much fun, and yes, I do have the thing of time freedom. Going back to that, it's funny because I don't have time freedom, and I do have time freedom. I get to make my own schedule.
You do,
except for sometimes that schedule means that I make it on the weekends when my clients are really needing me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if I need to pick up my little girl every day at 3, then I pick up my little girl every day at 3. That's, I've scheduled that out. So from 3 to 5, you're not going to get me unless, it's important. You're not getting me from 3 to 5. I have Mia from 3 to 5, and we're hanging out. We're going to the playground. We're having a good time,
Yep. And I think going back to time, because I think those two things we can talk about, just time management and just also marketing. Also let your clients know what your hours are. I think sometimes when we're new in the industry, or you don't necessarily have to be new, we get worried that, oh gosh, if I'm not available 24/7, they're not going to like me or they're not going to choose me. But it's important to protect your time in all aspects of that word. So if you cannot take calls or don't want to, you don't have to, right? Yeah. And one beautiful thing that I've learned, and we agree on this, is as now we're running our own real estate business, I'm not for everybody and everybody is not for me.
Agreed.
And that's okay.
Yeah, walk away.
Walk away.
I made some really big mistakes in the beginning of my career. I mean, I lost $3,000 on one client because I did the photos, I did the cleaning, I paid for all of the marketing, and I should have walked away.
That gut instinct was kicking in, and you were like, "Nope, I'm not going to listen."
Yeah, I was like, "No, it'll be fine. I'll be able to talk him down on his price." No, I should have just not taken it. It wasn't for me. I wasn't for him. And hindsight 2020. But so market yourself as authentic, and if you don't want to take a client,
you don't have to.
Yeah, as long as it's within regulations.
Yeah, but that's the nice thing too. Again, when you're on your own, and we're going to talk a lot about us just now being our own bosses, if you will, being a boss babe over here.
I love it.
But we didn't get to where we're at without making a few mistakes, right, along the way, having a few meltdowns and questioning, am I on the right path? Should I be a realtor? And so I think for us, it's important to also keep it real with you guys. And especially if you're new and you're wondering, what should I do? Is this something that I'm planning to do? I think talk to people who have a little bit of experience, who are willing to share the ugly too.
Right.
Is going to be key.
Yeah, I agree.
It's going to be
if any team tells you that you're going to make $100,000 in your
Run.
first year, run. Yeah, exactly.
Well, they probably will. Not sure that you will, but
Yeah.
but again, it's trial and error in real estate, and we've talked about this in the last episode. Is also finding your people.
Yes.
There's many agents now that we're independent agents by ourselves who are doing this alone, and it can be very lonely.
Yes.
So align yourself with people who want to collaborate, who are big thinkers, who are going to help you expand and grow your business. Especially, I would say a big tip for somebody is to find that person who you hope to be, right? The kind of agent that you want to be, and see what they're doing.
Yeah.
See if they're willing to kind of give you a sneak peek of what their life looks like.
Right.
And the last thing is, things
And
aren't always as beautiful as they seem, especially on social media. So having that in mind, because no, not everybody who starts the first year is going to make six figures. You can.
Yeah, you can.
It's very rare.
It's hard.
So be easy on yourself and don't compare yourself to everybody.
Right. Compare yourself to how you did last year.
Yes.
And grow. Just be you got this.
Mm-hmm.
If you want it, the thing of it is if you want it, you can get it. It might not happen overnight. It's not, like we said, it's not quick money.
It's not.
But it's good money in the long run. It's a slow burn that's really, it can get you what you want. But you got to work at it.
And then, when things feel scary and you're like, should I do this? Yeah, do it.
Do it anyway.
Do it.
If you're
do
scared
it afraid.
to post,
Yep, do it. What we look like, hey, this is what we look like, this is what we sound like. And I know having, especially now with technology, everybody wants to see videos and hear you and see you. I mean, this is what we look like. It took me a while, but it's like, this is exactly what I sound like.
This is what I look like. This is what I
we're
sound
posting.
like.
Just post.
Yeah. Look, if I look like a dork and somebody doesn't want to work with a dork,
you did me a favor.
Thank you. I don't want to work with you if you don't want to work with me. That's okay.
That is okay.
But, I'm not afraid to post something crazy or something weird or look silly because I'm going to look silly. But people like silly people.
You'll get probably more likes if you are doing silly stuff than, hey, I just sold a,
Yeah, exactly.
Well, these are definitely 4 of the top real estate myths that we kind of wanted to talk about because I think it's interesting perception.
Yeah.
And thanks to, I would say, a lot of these Netflix shows that, again, they think you will make money easy, that your broker is going to train you and walk in with you on their, on these $4.5 million homes, that you can make your own schedule. And then we see these people online on Netflix just having lunches every day, all right? And marketing is optional, and there's only one way to do it. So find what works for you. We're here. We've put our handles below, so if you have any questions, Megan and I are always here to talk you through it.
Yep.
Talk you off the ledge sometimes.
Yep.
We do that with each other, with our friends all the time.
Yeah, literally. We have one friend, love her to death, who we've talked off the ledge many a time.
Many times.
And she's doing good.
She did amazing last year.
Yeah.
And I think the old her would be so proud of herself.
Exactly.
Yeah. We give her a hard time, but you need that. You need to surround yourself with people who,
see the best of you.
See the very best in you and cheer you on.
Yeah, exactly. So put any myths you guys have or want to bust, put it in the comment section below. Let us know what you think about this show, and let us know if there's any topics that you want to hear about.
So next week, we're talking about 10 things every new agent should do in their first 90 days.
Ooh, that is a good one.
It is a good one. So even if you're not new, I think it's worth listening because there are some things I think that will help you, again,
get back to the basics.
Get back to the basics. And so we are going to be talking about that next week.
All right. Well, we will see you guys next week when we discuss the 10 things you should do in your first 90 days as a real estate agent. Adios.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.